index, okay, share with you the overall market direction, okay, and then we'll answer more questions as we progress, okay. So dollar index, again, this is one of pattern that you might want to be familiar with, or I would say even kind of memorize it, okay. This is, you can call it a diagonal. We simplify it and we call it a crawl pattern, because it's really like, there's no energy, there's no momentum, and the market is crawling up, right? So we just call it a crawl pattern. From an Elliott wave perspective, it's actually a diagonal. Okay. When you see a pattern like that and you pull out your RSI and you see a divergence, okay, it's a confirmation factor to tell you that, alright, the market is indeed lacking momentum and there's a good possibility it will reverse. Okay. Now, of course, we already get a little bit of a confirmation from here. As of yesterday, the dollar index did reverse. Okay, from the high of 110.8. So as of now, I think the dollar index is quite clear in terms of the direction that you want to focus, at least for the short term. Okay. And over here, there are two targets in mind, 107.6, which is the previous low, and then 104.65, which is the low before that. Okay. Now, there's a good possibility we're going to hit at least 107.6 for the dollar index. Okay, and over here you can look for short-term opportunities, right? In other words, if you see a tiny bit of consolidation on the dollar index, that would give you a very decent sell opportunity to take this trade down to 107.6. Now, if the dollar index were to drop, which means the dollar is likely going to weaken, at least for the short term, as a form of perhaps a retracement, then some of the major pairs like euro dollar is likely going to experience upside, pound dollar is going to experience upside, maybe Aussie dollar here will experience a little bit of upside as well, right? Because they have dollar in it. Okay, it's not 100% it's going to go up, because you need to also factor in the other component of that pair, which is the euro, the pound, or even the Aussie, right? Respectively, whatever currency pair you're looking at. But the dollar component becomes very clear. Okay, so same thing over here. If you're looking at maybe dollar CAD, right, then okay, there's a good chance if the dollar is going to weaken, then dollar CAD as the forces of dollar pushing it lower as well. Okay, so that's something that I think is very clear at this moment from dollar index perspective. Okay, so this week moving forward, I think some of the major pairs might give you that setup. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, euro is one of them. Okay, so we have that divergence, right? We have this little pattern over here. As I mentioned, if you can see a little bit of a consolidation here, then we can take this move to the upside. The potential target over here you can look out for is somewhere back towards this resistance zone. Okay, to be conservative, it's around 1.0270. If you want, you can stretch it a little bit higher towards 1.0370, right? It's another 100 pips. But to me, if you can get a trade with your target around 1.0270, I think that's great. Okay, that's not bad already. Okay, pound dollar over here. So from an Elliott wave perspective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a good possibility we have already see a little bit of the, again, lack of momentum. Okay, so we have a very obvious divergence build up. Okay. So again, what does this mean? It suggests that a potential reversal is likely gonna be starting soon. Okay, so if you're looking at pound dollar, I wouldn't suggest to look for sell right now, but instead, the direction that you want to be focusing on is potentially a reversal back to the upside with a potential high at 1.1900. Okay, so again, you have many different forms of strategy to get involved in a trade. What you can look out for is maybe this would take a little bit more time to develop into a pattern that looks something like that, which is what we call a crawl, okay, or a diagonal. And then from there, you can actually place a breakout, right, with a stop just below that and then a target above it. Okay, so that would be about 2.5 risk reward, not too bad. Okay, so that's my view on pound dollar. I don't think this week you're gonna get anything out of it. Okay, so this would probably take a little bit more time. Need to give it until maybe next week or so. Okay, because for the market to develop into a diagonal, right, it's gonna be slow and it's gonna take time, and therefore you need to be patient on that. Okay.